in 2024, have now claimed their biggest scalp yet. With the fall of Madagascar, President Andry Rajoelina, the irony is stark. Rajoelina, once a young DJ and mayor who seized power in 2009 through a youth-led military coup, has now been toppled by another generation's uprising and by the same army that once carried him to the palace. Madagascar, the large island of Africa's southeast coast, is often seen as remote and beautiful, but 3/4 of people live in the World Bank poverty line of $2.15 a day, and the power cuts, dry taps, and empty shelves are daily struggles. Those shortages, not opposition party banners, sparkled the protest that grew into a national movement.
That's all from the Eman data. Raila exit will expose political opportunists. More news from Blackberry, aka Eli Maranga.
It's not just Raila Odinga who has died, so have the political lives of the many posters who survived by hanging out his coat. For years, Raila was the oxygen of opposition politics, the gravitational force that held together politicians who lacked conviction but thrived under his name now. Without shadow to hide under, they stand exposed, empty, politically naked. This moment marks a critical turning point for Kenya's political landscape. For 2 decades, our politics has revolved around personalities rather than ideas. Raila's exit forces the country to confront the uncomfortable truth that we have not built a culture of ideological politics. Instead, we have nurtured opportunism. Those who depend on Raila's charisma must now prove they can stand on their own merit or face political extinction. Back to you, Koinange.
Exactly. So I move it past the Malcolm voice.
When exam seasons draws near, many students pile up their notes, highlight everything in sight, and spend endless hours rereading textbooks. Yet some of the best performers do something different. They test themselves. Back to you, Koinange Ian.
Exactly. They test themselves. Practice tests. Like one CBE Connect publishes every Thursday, are one of the most powerful tools for mastering any subject. Taking practice any subject, taking practice every exams transforms how you learn, how you think, and how you confidently walk into an exam room. All the best to our candidates. We ask all of you to remember us in your prayers. Sports, more news from Dwayne the Goat Johnson.
Welcome to the Report Sports News and Updates, the best news you will ever receive in this globe. Deep in Report Sports News. The very first junior school football team planting a seed of victory on the fertile grounds of Matieko and their very own home ground. Winning over 10 competitive games in their campaign was seamlessly the best achievement a junior school team would ever ask for. Their previous last game with the SBDM staff team was rather the best victory over the campaign. The game was played during one of the most previous weekends, when the Solm school team, famously known as the Never Seen 23, circumphoniously trashed the staff team in the penalty shootouts, earning them a silver plate trophy and a 3,000 Kenyan shilling reward. Before I leave, I'd like to call upon one of the best Never Seen 23 first 11 of the team. I start with our very own coach, Ryan Kiplagat, also known as Ryan Ancelotti. Bravin Omweno, also known as Bravin Sesko. Levis Kiago, famously known as Levis De Bruyne. Job Chuma, also known as Onsusu the Great. Larry Mayaka, also known as Larry Bruno. Gifton Ochako, our best striker, also known as Gifton Mbeumo. Blessing Nyabuto, also known as Breatho Reinders. Fabian Nyabaro, also known as Fabian Declan. Maxwell Obare, also known as Maxi Trent. Elvis Oreko, or you can call him Elvo Caicedo, Calix Mogaka, also known as Calix Dembele, Felix Nyachiro, our very own Cody Felix, George Kabira, you can call him George Saka, Gregory Wilkins, famously known as Greg Eze, Thomas Okello, our very own Thomas Partey, Hilary Jackson, also known as Puskas Nicholas Jackson, Emmanuel Shem, also known as Emmanuel Saliba, Tedrick Bosire, also known as Scott Tedrick, and lastly, Jeremy Mshindi, which is I, you can call me Gianluigi Jeremy. We wish them all the best as they head to senior school to become better stars. The great ninth grade pioneers produced the very first basketball team, which managed to get country levels in the 3-on-3 games. But due to lack of certificates, they saw the competitions blindly. Headed by Henry, their captain, they showed their braveness in the game, although lacking a training facility. The pioneers also produced the very first rugby team, which reached the zonal games, and due to the lack of body physical fitness, they didn't have a chance to proceed. The teachers showing their braveness both in class and outdoor games, showing their wrath against the 6th, 5th, and 4th graders, thrashing them circumferently, hammering their parades not less than 5 goals in all matches. They have also been showed other teams' wrath after facing 3 consecutive losses. They first faced their defeat when they invited a doctor's team from around the country, which destroyed them 4-1. They then matched up against the pupil school team, our Patrons' Day, when they surprisingly lost to the pupils 6-3 in the penalty shootouts. They lost 3,000 shillings and a huge silver plate trophy in that game. During the week, they also played against St. Paul's Teachers Training College, which they were also circumferently trashed, dismantled, mutilated, and puked 2-0 in their very own home ground, proving that they still have something to prove, just like Manchester United. Across to English Premier League, was signing Sesko, Cunha, and Mbeumo, the leasing the starboy Alejandro Garnacho and Rashford, who are now shining brighter than they were, a great move. Since they are facing Liverpool this weekend, which is much better than them, is more likely for the Red Devils. Something seemingly suspicious about Arsenal's success. I hope we all remember the time when Arsenal was second in the English Premier League table in the year 2023-2024 season. Britain mourned the loss of their very own Queen Elizabeth. Second, they played in UEFA Champions League semi-final, where the Catholics were mourning His Highness Pope Francis. Now, worse than that, they are on top of the English Premier League table, and now Kenya is now mourning the demise of His Excellency, former Prime Minister Enigma, Raila Amolo Odinga. Arsenal, don't you see something so suspicious with your victory? The best way is that you should stop competing in the table races. Don't you see that your victory is losing many great stars? So find a resolution to that. In the English Premier League table, Arsenal number 1 with 16 points, Liverpool number 2 with 15 points, Tottenham number 3 with 14 points, Bournemouth number 4 with 14 points, Manchester City number 5 with 13 points, and at 10th position is Manchester United with 10 points. That's all I have for you today. But before I sum up, I would like to introduce my news writer. He has been working with me diligently, bringing to you every Monday of the fresh sports news and updates across the globe. than man behind the making, Tipsy Henry. I am living hoping that one day there will be another goat to follow his master's footsteps the forthcoming year. Goodbye, my fellow friends. I shall really miss all of this. From the Paul Sports News and Updates, brought to you by I, Dwayne the God Johnson. Back to you, Koinange.
Thank you, Dwayne the God Johnson. Indeed, it has been a long journey. Let me, Ian Sokobe, aka John Bulls, finish up by calling my team to say hi as they retire. I'll begin from the rear. That one is Laxi Promax. Larry Muia has been a committed reporter in the Monday Report. Wayne Yaps, Fabian Nyabaro, Geodasic Emmanuel Oroni, Javier Elvis, that is Elvis Oreko, Chris Hensoth, that one is Elton Murithi, Mr. Name, kindly move here, Laxi Promax, Elton Murithi, Bravin Me XE, the director of quotes, Bravin Nyakoni, Blackberry, Eli Maranga, aka Fadela, Anonymous Ruler 34, that is Samiro Flavio, 3 Egyptian Cairo, Trinity Mutia, Bravin Bean, that is Bravin Onduso. I move to the top 5. Malcolm Wise, that is Griffin Soenga, beside me. A mandator, who is Emmanuel Mosetti. Tipsy Henry from the sports section, that is Peterson Henry. To the top 2, Gesh, who's back, also known as Dwayne the God Johnson, Jeremy Mshindi. First, going to Ian, who is me, Ian Sokobe. Thank you.
One day you will be a memory to someone, so make sure it is a good one. From the Forever Young production, you have been hosted by your favorite host. I am Malcolm Wise.
Koinange Ian, Egyptian.Cairo.
Fadela. Anonymous Ruler 34. Gravin BX.
Geodasic Emmanuel.
Chris Swat. Wayne Yaps.
Laxi Promax.
Gravin Bean. Tipsy Henry.
Iman Data.
And Dwayne the God Johnson.
I'll kindly beg the reporters to wave as we exit our office. The Forever Young report. See you when you see me or us. Thank you.